Welcome, weary traveler. You have stumbled across a comedy chronicle of cranial concoctions, a frenzied fusion of befuddled fables, an exacting expose on eclectic mythos. Should you brave ahead, you will find yourself enlightened, delighted, and only slightly misinformed on the many fantastical worlds that exist within our favorite media. Will you learn all there is to know? That I cannot say. But I can say it will be the lore you know.
Did you guys know that we've been contacted to do a cross promotion with a pay to earn gaming platform?
Is it blockchain cuties?
No, it's
Oh.
I don't
Yeah. So we're gonna do that, right?
yeah,
We're selling out. We
I-
made it. I think it would be very funny if you didn't say yes to these people, but did ask them how much they were
more
offering
questions.
you.
I will say probably not a lot. It seemed like they wanted
lead
to
them in.
I know.
seemed like they wanted to
I-
work for exposure, but
I would like a dollar value to be put on our
Yeah.
unless
What's
you're
our
thing we
going
have
rate?
made.
What's our market rate?
Unless you're a well-known company already, or like at least within the public eye, so any of these crypto stuff obviously doesn't make the cut. But like my favorite thing that they'll do when they send you messages or emails or whatever about wanting to do a quote collab is they'll be like, we really like the stuff that you're putting out and we think it would be a great fit to do a collaboration together. And I just want to be like, cool, what's your favorite joke we've ever done ever? Is it the one where we
Which
you know
bit?
yeah
Is it the plushy sperm and ovum?
is it
No,
the-
you
I
can't give
enjoyed
them
that.
that because then they'll say that one. Yes.
that one, the one that wasn't even in a real episode? That was a short. It was a
Oh!
test.
Wait, no, that just means they're a super fan.
Oh, they watch the shorts too.
Mhm.
Damn it.
What if they only watch the shorts though? How do we categorize
I
them?
mean, that means they're a scroller.
That's a regular user. Fran, introduce us.
Oh, sorry. I'm learning about cryptocurrency right now. I'm a little busy.
We
That's
don't
not
have
the
the
thing
time.
that we
We
learn
don't have
about
the
on
time.
this
Fine,
show.
fine. I won't. Okay, well, welcome to the Lore You Know, a podcast where I don't get to learn about cryptocurrency. But
You're welcome.
some friends get to dive into the fantastical and often convoluted lore of media that we grew up with and love. And here to bring you the mostly correct facts about made up things this week are me, Fran.
Me, Ethan.
And I'm CJ, and if you know how to copy and paste code into a web server, you too can create and disseminate your own crypto. It's just that easy.
All right, we learned about crypto. We did it, everybody.
We did it. We taught with the lore coin, you know. That's right. We're starting our own crypto, and we are selling receipts that represent different lore moments from video games. So you won't own those moments, but you will own a thing that represents those moments that you can show off to your friends.
Correct.
Mhm. I like this. We'll open up episodes, or we'll throw them in there with little lores, where we just give people the most bare bones explanation of some completely random thing.
You own that now. If you subscribe and donate $2 to the PO box that we don't have yet, you can own one of the intros. That's right. There's I think 15 of them now. So
They're all slightly different.
First come, first serve. They're all pretty different. If you
They're
haven't
all-
listened to
They're all
before,
100% unique and impossible to replicate.
that part's true. But if you haven't listened to before, it's gonna be really hard to figure out what this show is even about. So, Ethan, illuminate us and tell us, what is the show even about?
Not
So
cryptocurrency.
today, no, not that. Today, this show is about God of War.
Oh, the critically acclaimed Game of the Year 2018 version.
Which
No.
God of War? There's like 6 of them, right? There's like the original mainline God of Wars, and then
The
there's like
God
the new
of
ones.
War, Fran.
The
So
big
the first one.
The God of War.
Well, not first
Uh,
chronologically, because chronologically there was a game that was technically a prequel to the first God of War, but
Okay,
you know.
well, whatever. I just remember, man, all the memories from the Tech TV channel. I just remember when God of War was originally coming out, and everyone was just losing their minds at the fight mechanics with like the whips and stuff.
I thought you were gonna
That's what I
say
remember from
at the
God of
fuck
War.
mechanics because
Oh, there's also that too, where he like sleeps with the women and
yeah,
stuff. But
he
that's
doesn't.
also-
He doesn't sleep, friend. Yeah, you mash buttons to mash butt-ons his
I'm
dick.
pretty sure we learned from the Bayonetta episode. I will get too blushy if we get too explicit. So
Well,
I'll
I
go with
mean,
sleeps
we'll-
with them.
We'll do it just to get you very lightly blushy. Like that's the sweet spot.
I mean, it's
Okay.
it's pretty much just a mashing mini game, which is what
What?
sex
Oh,
is.
you actually have to interact
No,
with
no,
it?
no, no. It's
I thought it was
it's
just like cutscenes. I didn't
No,
realize.
if
that.
you don't
it
if
is-
you don't put the
It is
inputs
a
in
quick
right,
time event.
Wait,
You
it's
have
quick
to put
time
in-
events to
if
have
you-
sex in these games?
if you don't put the input in
Yes.
right, then you
What?
finish too early, and then the girls are very disappointed with you.
Is that real? I can't tell.
I don't
Can
know.
you
I never
fail
failed.
having sex in this game?
I have
It's-
several times.
It's
In
not.
this game. I didn't ask
it's
you about your
not-
personal life.
hard, or is it? No,
Ooh.
that mini game is not difficult. But it does it wants you to hit all the buttons in the row so that you feel like a big man. What made the multiple women? Because it is always more than one woman who is engaged in this sex act.
Is it
with
difficult
Kratos.
to complete the game if you're playing one-handed with the controller?
Okay, everyone gets one more joke on this topic, and then we're moving on. I'll go first.
Okay,
Menage a triangle button.
okay, that was pretty. That was a
Thanks,
good joke,
thanks.
CJ. Thank
I
you
thought
for
that was a pretty good joke.
Mine was a
Fran?
legitimate question, so I'm not sure what you're indicating here, but that's fine. It's fine. I'll pass on mine. You can have another one, CJ. I'll give it to you.
Oh shit. I think I already said button mashing. Button smashing
Good,
Mhm.
good.
is the
Ethan?
name of my ska
Uh,
band.
Yeah. Quick time event, more like a quick shot event.
Okay.
Cause
This
he-
was all really good.
Oh, I wish I didn't give mine up.
Oh,
Sorry.
do you want one more?
I'm here for a quick time, not a long time.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Yeah,
And now we have addressed the fucking elephant in the room.
So we were talking about the most ladyful lady last week with Bayonetta.
Mm.
So now we're gonna do the most manful man, Kratos. And then next week we can talk about my fan fiction, which is going to bring together the elements thus far, and I
Oh,
think is really tasteful.
I thought we were going to do Nights into Dreams, who is canonically pansexual or something like that.
Oh, he's in there.
Oh, they're in there.
It's so hot. All right. So, yeah, as CJ was mentioning, God of War is a really big series right now. It has made this huge comeback with the God of War 2018 and then God of War Ragnarok,
Mhm.
where you get to be a dad of boy and go around making the end of Norse mythology happen. But-
Don't spoil it yet, Ethan. I'm only a part of the way through the new game, and I if anyone tweets at Spices with the spoilers, they'll block you. A mechanic I know exists in Twitter, and I'll figure
You
out how to do it
sure-
later.
For how
You
much
sure you don't have to pay
longer, we can't
$20 a
know.
month? for
Yeah, I
that
don't.
feature.
In fairness, I don't even know if you future listener, if you'll even know what Twitter is in the
Yeah.
distant future when you're listening
Of
to
a
this.
week.
I believe it's an ancient type of meme.
Oh,
All right. Well, then
But-
to avoid the spoilers right away, are we going back to the first game? Prequel game? Unclear.
Ye- So, yeah, we're going to talk about the original God of War series. We're going to go over the 3 primary games that are the main chunks of the story, tied together. There are a couple prequel games, and there's one that's in the middle, but I gotta be honest, I never played those, and going over their lore, it was kind of just Kratos wanted some ambrosia, and then he
Nice.
went and got it.
Hell
and
yeah.
He killed things on the way.
You're not gonna talk about the mobile game that came out
There was a mobile game.
Now, Fran,
Absolutely not.
when you think about mobile
When?
games, when you think about mobile games, you think about like Raid Shadow Legends or
I don't.
Pokemon
Sure.
Go. But
Maybe.
this one came out in like the Nokia era.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it Snake but with
So you
Kratos on the end?
you literally just go left and right, and then you smash the buttons to whip out your chains and kill monsters. It's fucking
Okay.
radical.
Yeah, so the first God of War game came out in 2005.
Okay, that
and
makes sense.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal launch on the PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
God of War 2 also came out on the PlayStation 2.
I
And
remember
then God of-
E3 going nuts over it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty hype game, and it was big about the like ridiculous manliness factor, but we'll get to that in a second. First, we need to answer the question, who is God of Boy?
He's
Kratos.
He's Kramos. Big Krabos.
Kramer?
Yeah, he
He's-
goes, I'm gonna say the N-word, Ares. And Ares goes, don't do it.
I just wanted you to be a powerful warrior.
That's
I'm a powerful
I'm
shit
the god
poster.
of war, but even that's too far for me. The woke generation will cancel you, Kratos. Don't do it.
My woke son will cancel me.
Fuck, I almost spit.
Yeah, I saw that. Yes, it is Kratos, and he is a Spartan commander. We start the series in the ancient Greece setting, and it really just is kind of like he's very cool, and that's why all the other Spartans, they want to follow him, and he makes a big army for himself just of dude bros who are like, yeah, Kratos is so cool, I want to work for Kratos.
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh,
epic, dude. I want
That is my understanding of how men make friends, so that makes sense.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much that.
Yeah.
Greek men can have a closeness that goes beyond emotional bonds, and it's fine. It's what manly men do.
Mhm.
Fran is
Fran.
you train together, and you sleep together, and you wrestle together to strengthen your bodies for war.
All sorts of oils.
And
I mean-
scented oils most pleasant.
From the men that I know in my life, one, they love scented candles, so that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Two, love baths, get it.
Mm.
Three, as far as I know with my guy friends, they really like touching each other a lot and like tackling each other and like
That's
and
mostly
things.
CJ.
So
Well, it's
I
to
get
stay
it.
strong.
This, like I said, this makes sense. So
Yeah.
okay, Kratos is getting some fanboy followings.
Well, they're
He's
they're
his time.
soldiers, but yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they're more. He's more
Yeah,
like
let-
he's more like BTS, and he has a army.
I don't know about that.
Well,
but-
he's okay.
he can't be BTS.
he well, he does have this following. You might call it an army.
I mean, it
An
is.
army.
And they just go around doing all the winning.
Okay.
But
Mm.
then these nondescript barbarians show up and just beat the hell out of his people so
Oh.
easily.
Well,
And
Lack
they
of
are
leadership there.
it's never specified where these barbarian, like who they are, and it says they came from the east, but
Oh.
also they have a very Celtic look to them, which would
Yeah,
have
they
been
look
to
like
the northwest.
Vikings. Yeah,
And also way later, like it shows us the Persian Empire from the east.
Yeah.
So where were the barbarians? It doesn't matter.
I mean, they
Maybe-
could have had a messed up compass. Maybe there was like a lodestone nearby and they didn't realize it. It's fine.
maybe Kratos was just really far west. Like he went
You
to
went
Greenland.
so far west.
He's like,
Okay.
we will invade Greenland, and then those guys showed up and they're like, I think we own Greenland, and then they fought there.
Mm,
And then they fought, and Kratos was losing really bad.
mhm.
And so, because he's a big man and doesn't ever want to admit defeat,
Mhm.
he offers his soul and service to Ares in exchange for victory.
Ares!
Oh, got it.
Like that, yeah. Uh, and Ares looks down and he sees this big, strong man, and he's like, "Oh, yes, I would like this man to work what for me." And so he comes down and wipes out the barbarians and it gives Kratos these superpowers and the blades of chaos. And by
Oh.
give them, I mean he does sear the chains into Kratos's
Mhm.
flesh.
Yeah, so the chains, Fran, they're like an analogy
Those are the
for
whip things.
for chains that
They're-
bind him to his master. He's a slave now to Ares.
The chains are like chains, yeah.
The
Yeah.
chains are chains.
The typical metaphor explanation.
But
of
they
them.
also let you whip swords around
Yeah,
and
go
cut
boop,
people's
beep, beep,
heads
beep.
off.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you
it's
can,
cool.
You can flip
Yeah.
flip and like slash people's heads off.
I'm
And
sure
you-
Kratos, as a big strong man, is perfectly fine with following orders from another big strong man. I'm sure this is
So,
going to work out great.
Again, Fran,
He
that's how the
is-
military works, and that's just men being men. So
But he
Fran.
was in charge of it before, and I'm sure he won't have any issue listening to
Listen,
somebody else.
so he's fine with it for a while, right? Kratos goes back to conquering Greece, but this
Mhm.
time the parts of Greece that Ares tells him to.
Mhm.
And at some point in his adventure here, he comes across this little village, and Ares says, "Kratos, I want you to burn down this village and kill all of the innocent people."
Yeah.
And Kratos says, "Yeah, that sounds pretty cool."
Yeah,
Cool.
Kratos is like, this village is a monument to Athena, and it would please Lord Ares to burn it to the ground. And all his boys are like, hell yeah, woo! Let's get
Yeah.
it done.
Let's raise
Yes.
some shit, right?
And this oracle from the village comes out and tells him, "You don't want to do that, Kratos." And he says, "Ah, what do you know, future seeing lady?" And so
I wonder if
they,
it's the same one from that Magic Treehouse book.
It could be.
Uh,
She was wearing a
ooh,
big
the-
amulet that was a glowing
Yeah.
omega.
Oh,
crossover lore.
not quite an M, but
It's like half an M, kinda.
yeah.
an omega.
Maybe the other
Oh.
side was the M.
Oh,
And
like
then-
it
yeah,
like
sure.
flicks out like a
or
book.
just like flips over.
I see.
So the lady from the the Treehouse book series.
Yeah. She comes and she
Tells-
says, Kratos, if you could solve my riddles 3, you could come in here and kill all these people.
And he says, "No, I'm just gonna do it anyway."
She's, no, the rules though.
And so he goes on this bloodlust rampage, just murdering innocent villagers left and right, until he comes to the end, and seeing this burning wreck, he realizes his last 2 victims were his wife and daughter.
He did a
Ares.
Hercules.
He did a Hercules. Ares
Mm.
teleported them there to make Kratos murder them, so
Hmm.
that he would become a more powerful warrior. Ares said, "I've taken away your last connection to humanity, so now you're stronger, I would bet." And
Uh-huh.
the oracle says, "I told you so," and then binds the ashes of his dead wife and daughter to his skin. And that's why he look all pale
That's
and
why
such.
he's all white.
Interesting.
He's all. She says, "Kratos, how are you doing? Are you all white?" And then she curses him. Now he wears his dead daughter and wife's ashes as skin.
So, okay. Once again, going back to the idea of big strong man, definitely totally gonna listen to other big strong man forever. How long was Kratos away from his wife and child? Then
I
he
mean,
was doing a
during these
lot of like
campaigns.
conquering.
Yeah, listen, even before this Ares thing, he was a Spartan man. So
yeah, so like when
all
was
the
the last
time.
time he saw his wife and child? Because I feel like he was a really like
Well, it was like
he wasn't very present in either of their lives.
Well, it's not
so
like he
that's
didn't
a really
notice.
feminist bullshit
Yeah,
question.
that sucks, Fran. He was in the blood rage. When a man is in war, Fran, our eyes roll back into our heads and we just whip our big chain swords every which way.
okay. Well, yes, I understand that he like apparently didn't recognize them or something. But one, with Ares, I understand the whole like sever your earthly tethers in order to reach whatever.
That's not what
and,
Ares
but,
sounds like, but all right.
Whatever. But it's like that's the whole like
It's pretty
trope
close.
of
It's pretty much.
to become more powerful, you
Yeah,
can't have any
if
earthly
you wish
tethers.
to become more
Mhm,
powerful,
mhm.
you
Achieve
need to kill
nirvana.
your boy. I don't know,
Whatever.
I don't think that's part of
Um,
achieving nirvana is killing your family, but all right.
No, it's you're supposed to sever ties. You don't
Yeah,
have to kill them.
kill them.
Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
If
He's
you
not
want
supposed to not
join
care
the
about
band
Qatar anymore.
Nirvana, you
that's
must
not gonna
kill
work.
your child.
But like, I don't see how Ares didn't see that would backfire. That he had his servant murder his wife and child.
It's wild, isn't it? It's like the gods are just not very bright and
They're not.
They're
just
pride.
mean,
It's
manipulative people.
It's always about pride, Fran. Kratos got in over his head, and that's why the barbarians came and murdered him, and then that's why he had to ask for help. And Ares is like, well, he's just a little mortal boy. There's nothing he can do to me. I'll do whatever I want to him, because he's like, I'm a big god. No one can hurt me.
Except for he gave him powers to be stronger. Anyway, okay, fine.
He just
Well,
gave him the
continue.
swords.
He gave
I
him,
forget
he
that
gave
Greek
him
gods
magical
just-
swords and bloodlust powers, but gods are still gods. It's
Gods
just
are
some
dumb, I
mortal
forgot.
boy can't just like kill a god.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Kratos does renounce Ares at this point. He's like, the murdering innocents, I was pretty down with that, but murdering my innocents, that's not cool, bro. And
Classic
so
man,
that's,
not being upset
yeah.
until it personally affects him.
yeah, I mean, 100%.
I don't see why that
exactly.
would be problematic.
I'm saying classic.
So, Kratos, this is his sort of origin, and
Mhm.
from here on out, he is a very angry man.
Hmm.
Fair.
And I think that it kind of just like landed in the early mid 2000s, but looking back on it today, it is very over the top just how much he like literally shouts almost every single word that he says. And like his passive level is just like murder breathing.
Well, you know,
That must have been a
like
voice acting
that's his
recording.
idle animation.
You're a young boy, right? You're looking for something to relate to, and you're like, I also get so angry at my mom. I just start punching holes in my wall. I relate to this character.
Mm.
So he's super angry. He's super macho. He has his debts to the gods melded to his skin,
Mhm.
and the guilt of killing his family melded to his skin again.
Hmm.
Got a lot of skin.
And he's got plenty of skin to meld things to.
So why
but-
didn't Ares just take his... Oh, has he not told Ares he's renounced him yet? And like this is just a sneaky renouncing?
Oh no, he was
Or-
like,
No,
he was pretty
like,
clear about it, but-
Ares, I will
Okay.
not fight for you anymore.
So why didn't Ares just take his shit back?
I think Ares at this point was kind of just like, he'll be back.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Okay.
Well, and also,
He'll
well,
come around. Got it.
so the thing is, like, his chains bound him in servitude. So, like,
Yeah.
he wouldn't want to take them off. That's basically saying, like, I free you from your servitude. So the chains are connected to Kratos. He can't take them
But-
off. They're like
But
burned
wouldn't
to
the
his skin.
chains have taken his like bloodlust powers away from him and stuff?
No,
I mean-
those aren't magic powers. He's just very angry.
Oh, okay.
At
Got
this
it.
point, why
I
does
thought he was like
Ares
magically
care?
imbued.
No, he's just
Like-
he's just a super
angry
strong
man?
dude with magical swords
Okay.
that are connected to chains.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the swords and chains are magical, but he himself is not. Okay.
Yeah, not at this
Cool.
moment.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, Ares will cast some spells on him and such. Like, he did cast some kind of extra bloodlust spell just to
Yeah.
seal the
Well, that's
deal that
temporary
he
or
would kill
whatever.
his. Yeah, all of that kind of stuff.
Also,
But,
Ethan, you didn't even mention how his skin is all pale white from his
Uh-huh.
his family being melded to him, but he's got
That's right.
he's got all those red spots on him, Fran. Those were just
Mhm.
there. Those are unrelated. Those are
Those are just his war paint.
Those are unrelated to the family ashes that are grafted to his skin.
Yeah, those are just cool tats.
Those are tattoos that he got before now.
Dope.
So,
Yeah, those just look cool.
do you know why he got them, Ethan?
Because they look cool.
Did
Are
you
you
do enough research to know
Onto his
why he did
tattoos.
that?
Is this about his brother or is this
It
an
is.
unrelated?
No, it
thing?
is about his brother. Are you going to talk
yeah.
about his
He has a
brother
brother.
later?
I mean, a little bit.
Okay, when you
He's,
talk
he's
about
very
when you
not important,
yeah,
but kind of funny.
yeah, exactly. All right, when you talk about him, I'll talk about why Kratos has red on his face.
Yes. All right.
I look
Uh,
forward to it.
so when people say that they don't like video games because they appeal to the male fantasy, like this series is the thing that they're talking about.
hmm
Like everything in the game is just about this like stupid over the top machismo. Uh Kratos is that early 2000s cool guy where being cool means just not giving a shit about who lives and dies, and that makes you awesome. And just a lot of sex mini games. They made sure to have a sex mini game which always must involve multiple women in every one. Uh, and I think they are in all of the original games except one. They made sure to have a sex mini game
Mm.
because that's just what it means to be cool.
Sex
I'm
is just
sure-
pushing the right button at the right time. If you know what I mean, fellas.
We were done. Remember, we were done.
I lied. I deceived you.
You got 3 this now.
I pranked you.
All right.
I mean, I guess everyone mourns the death of their wife and child differently. Is what
Oh, I
I'll
thought we were
say.
still going to be talking about the sex mini game.
I am talking
That's
about the
part
sex
about
mini
it,
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will say the only game where they don't have the sex mini game takes place very shortly after he murdered his wife and child. And they said
Okay.
to themselves, you know what? Maybe that's a little too soon.
Okay. Well, okay. All right. But the other ones, that's fine.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like he. Just because he murdered his wife and daughter doesn't mean that he loses all of his sex drive forever. I mean, he made another baby eventually. So how many more?
Spoilers.
How many more might be out there? He's ever.
I mean, it's probably a lot.
Probably some.
Yeah.
I mean, contraceptives didn't really exist.
Well,
Back
I
then.
guess
No,
not-
there was
not
that
after-
flower. Remember?
Yeah,
There
Fran.
was a
not
flower that.
Yeah, Fran.
women would
You
take.
try to put a flower in your vagina and see if you don't get pregnant doing that.
No, I think it was the ancient Greeks. They literally plucked a flower to extinction because it would prevent pregnancies, and that flower doesn't
Nice.
exist anymore because they literally took it all.
I did
and
hear
it's
about
gone.
that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
well,
still-
listen, we actually don't have to worry about any of Kratos's Greek era progeny after the events of God of War 3.
Oh.
So
That's true.
let's just keep
Did
on
he
a
just destroy
trucking.
Greece?
I wouldn't
Don't
worry
worry
about it.
Fran.
No.
So Kratos, after his falling out with Ares,
Mhm.
he makes a deal with some of the other gods. His kind of like main connection here is Athena, but it does sound like he just kind of does tasks for gods in general. They give him the Hercules thing of he is going to complete 10 tasks for them, and in exchange, he wants them to end the nightmares and guilts of his past crimes.
Yeah. So
Not fix them. He just doesn't want to feel bad about it anymore.
Oh.
yeah, he's
Okay.
a white man. But so I mean, it seems like Kratos is kind of filling the role of Hercules in this sort of made up pantheon.
But angrier.
make no mistake, Fran. Hercules
So
is still a person that also
In
exists.
this game?
So they
Yes.
literally were just like, that guy Hercules? Let's just do that stuff, but for this guy too, and see what happens.
Is Hercules
Ares-
the Greek version or is it Heracles?
It's Hercules,
It
but
is Hercules?
Yeah,
Okay.
so the naming convention doesn't go with the rest of the gods' names that they do, but it's just Hercules is the name everyone knows him by nowadays. We come into the start of our series, God of War 1, at task number 9, killing the
10?
Hydra out at sea
Mhm.
of 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, the games are
yeah,
not
so he-
about doing the tasks because those are boring.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they literally
Straight
just give
to
him
9.
like,
Got it.
you've got the Hercules background just so you know. So this here is a random dick move, but I just had to share it with you, and maybe it gives you a good idea of Kratos' character. So he's on this ship that he convinced these people to go out to sea to like go get this Hydra, right?
Mhm.
He's
Who would
fighting
agree
the
to that?
Hydra, and all of these like people on the ship are getting eaten. and the captain gets eaten. And you
Mhm.
see, like, as he's getting eaten, oh no, he has the key for the captain's room where
Mm,
Kratos' stuff is
mm,
around his neck. And
uh-huh.
so Kratos jumps into the Hydra's mouth and like goes down its gullet,
Just like
and
Hercules.
you see the captain is like holding on to the just like edges here before he goes all the way down the Hydra neck. He's like, "Oh my god, you came here to save me!" And Kratos picks him up and he takes the key off and he says, "I did not come to save you," and kicks
Oh.
him down into the Hydra.
Okay,
So-
helpful.
Totally unnecessary.
That is a bit unnecessary, but
It's
okay.
100% unnecessary. That's the kind of game that we're
He
playing.
does go out of his
Okay.
he does go out of his way to be a dick like all the time. Like he's
Yeah.
not a
Often.
likable protagonist.
This really explains a lot about voice chat with men and males.
Yeah, for
Ugh.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeesh, this is why they're always muted for me.
Yeah, Frank can't even hear us. She's just seeing our reactions and sort of emoting and responding to that.
I'm so good at context clues, but that's also why I talk over you guys sometimes because like I'm
There's a lag,
processing
yeah.
at the same time.
It's fair. I mean, we're just talking about kicking each other down holes anyway, so
Yeah.
you're not missing anything.
The reason my camera's pointed at this particular angle is because there's so many holes in the walls, like just over here.
There's so many holes in the wall. The rest of the desk is covered in empty monsters.
Piles of broken mice from Rage.
Oh, I see. Computer mice. Okay.
Oh yeah, no computer mice.
I thought you meant I killed rats when I got angry.
No.
So
I
I
know.
made tend a mouse just into mouse.
Oh my
I knew a guy that
God.
had to buy like a new mouse every week because he would break it, and I'm like,
That's very
dude,
sad.
calm the fuck down.
That's very sad.
But if he played games like God of War growing up, well, there you go.
Yeah, that does sound like the kind of person who like looked up to Kratos as a child.
True.
Mhm.
Not a good
But-
role model.
Mm-mm.
All right, so Kratos kills the Hydra,
Got it.
and Athena comes to him and says, "Hey, good job, dude. Your next task, final one, I'm gonna throw you a bone here. Your task is to kill Ares."
Oh, okay. That's why this happened.
Kratos is like, yeah, that
Yes.
rules.
So
I
all of
forgot
the
how
other
much the Greek gods hated each other.
they don't like each other. All of the other gods are like, we've noticed Ares has been doing way too much conquering, and we think that he's maybe gonna try and overthrow Olympus, and that's a bad. So you're gonna kill him, dude. Now
Win-win situation for everybody, really.
Indeed.
yeah, no, it's great. So a mortal normally can't kill a god, but Athena tells him that there is a special power concealed in Pandora's box that will allow him to do it. Now, to get sort of a freebie task out of Kratos, she refuses to tell him where Pandora's box is, and
Hmm.
instead lets him know that her oracle in Athens knows. And hey, wouldn't you know it, currently, at this very moment, the Spartans are sacking Athens. So why
Ah.
don't you go try and save my city, and then you can find out through that where Pandora's box is.
Dang.
Convenient.
That is convenient. Those
yeah.
those Greek gods have pretty good plans, little conniving plans. They're like, hey, go
know?
get Pandora's box, which I know, Fran, you're not totally read up on all the Greek lore, but
I thought Pandora's box had like all the bad things in the world in it. And someone
Correct.
opened it and let him out.
yeah,
So she wants him to open that
yeah.
and
Yeah,
just
so
unleash
in-
all the bad, plus the hope at the end or something. There's like
Wow,
a light at the
Fran,
bottom. Is that
spoilers.
real?
Uh,
Wow, you
Or
do
is
know
that just
the-
something
you
they
do
put in
know the
elementary
myth,
books?
Fran.
you do know it.
I remember
Uh,
watching a video of it for like reading Rainbow or something
Hmm.
in school.
The original lore, you know.
Yeah.
It's just
So
a reading
Kratos-
Rainbow rip off the whole show. You found us out.
So Kratos makes his way through Athens, and if ever I say Kratos is like going somewhere or makes his way somewhere, I mean that he is murdering his way through there.
Yeah, that
And-
gameplay somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. And on his way to the temple where the oracle is, he meets this weird character who is only known as the Gravedigger. And the Gravedigger, wouldn't you know it, is digging this big grave right
Wild.
outside the oracle's temple. And when Kratos asks him who it's for, he does the classic, like, old man, why, it's for you, my boy.
Oh,
Mm.
it tolls for thee, Kratos.
Is it a thing where he has to die and go to the underworld to like power up to go then kill Ares or something like that?
It's
Sort of, not
adjacent to
quite.
that.
Fran,
Okay.
why you always gotta try to
Why are you
spoil
trying
it?
to get?
I'm trying to figure stuff out, okay? Trying to put shit together.
Kratos is like, well, that was ominous, but I'm just going to keep going.
Just like last
And-
time. That worked out great for him.
He saves the oracle. She is like, wow, you're a real piece of shit. Thank you for saving me, but I did see the innards of your soul, and I hate you.
Mm.
But
Fair.
also, I will tell you where the Pandora's box is.
Fair
Win,
trade.
win-win.
Well, yeah, everybody walks away happy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like we were talking about with Pandora's box, God of War takes a lot of liberties with Greek mythology.
Doesn't
right?
everyone? Disney.
I mean, very fair.
Marvel.
But I like in the God of War series that they do keep the essence of it.
Mm.
It's very epic. There's so much like backstabbing and traitory. The gods are just like assholes, and
Mhm.
fate is an unavoidable bitch. Speaking of, Pandora's box is kept out in this place called the Desert of Lost Souls, where Zeus, after overthrowing his father Kronos,
Mhm.
cursed him to forever crawl through this desert with a gigantic trap temple dungeon on his back.
Ugh.
And deep in that temple, we have the box.
So there's a
Wait,
box
the temple
in a
is on the-
temple back
on
of
the
a
back
titan.
of Kronos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Kronos is a big
Yeah.
boy. He's a titan.
And he's crawling,
Yeah.
Yes.
which allows you to go to the temple because it's like horizontal or
Yeah.
Yes.
temple on top. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he's on
Okay.
he's on all
Sure.
fours. Much
All right.
like
Got
much
the
like the
exact
whores that
imagery
you
in your
bang
head.
Got
in
it.
QuickTime events.
Thank you, CJ.
You're welcome. It helps to have a visual to go with it.
Kratos gets there, and we have a ton of the just like over the top moments where, you know, you're able to get to Kronos, and he just starts to like stab his swords in as he climbs Kratos'
Mhm.
side.
Shadows of
And
the Colossus style.
The narrator is sure to let you know that it took him 3 days of constant climbing without eat or sleep to make it up there, but he's just that cool and does
There's
it.
a narrator in this game too.
Yeah.
There is a narrator who tells you about how cool
She's-
Kratos is the
do you-
entire time.
Do you know the narrator at the beginning of The Lord of the Rings where it's like, but then Gollum was too he
That's
got
Galadriel.
uglied up. And no, it's
Yeah.
not.
Isn't it?
Mhm.
Galadriel
Yeah, I mean,
is the narrator in the Lord of the Rings
Oh,
series.
I see. Yeah, no. Well, yeah, it's like
not in the God of War game.
yeah. Yeah, no. But it's like that narration where it's like
Oh, okay.
It's
So
Kratos
they're
a lot
saying
like
Kratos
the
was-
actress was the same.
Kratos was Mundo Epic, and he was able to climb up the big booty of the Titan. He went up ass first, like he always do. And then once he got to the mighty crack, he pulled himself forth onto Kronos' back like a misfired spurt of love goo, and was hence within the temple's interior.
Mm-mm. Okay.
Exactly like that.
I was just reading the script.
Please, yeah, I was gonna say, please don't quote while I'm just giving a general overview. You go through this whole temple, right? There's a bunch of like monsters and demony things in there. There's a bunch of traps and puzzles.
Ooh, puzzles. I'm surprised.
Yes.
Yeah, the gods
It's not-
the gods can be fun, you know.
Angry men
it's
solving
very-
puzzles. Interesting. How hard are these
Angrily.
puzzles?
I mean, there is a lot of like angrily kicking huge blocks to solve the puzzle, so it's still pretty angry.
But like,
Yeah,
how
there's-
much critical thinking is actually involved?
I don't know, medium to light. Think like Tomb
Okay.
Raider level puzzles.
Okay.
Breaks up the combat.
It breaks up the combat, and they're sure to let us know that the temple was like commissioned by the gods for this crazy inventor guy who they just kind of left there, and he just kept building more and more crazy shit into it. And surely someday the gods will come and they'll forgive me and save my family and let us all out of here. But until then, I'm gonna keep making puzzles. So you go through it all. You're super epic and rad, and you're the best. All of these gods are lending you their powers on the way so that you can like shoot lightning and do extra cool attack stuff as you make your way in. And Kratos reaches Pandora's box, and Ares senses it from halfway across Greece and throws a pillar all the way over there and precisely hits Kratos in the sternum and kills him. Kratos is dead.
It's so good,
Whoa.
friend. There's just a
What?
there's just a gigantic Ares who's just like fucking knocking over buildings like they're Tinker toys, and then he's just like, wait a fucking second. He senses that the Pandora's box is next to Kratos, I guess. So he just picks up a big sharp pillar that was nearby and just hucks it, I
Chucks
guess,
it.
eastward-ish. And then
Everything's to the
It
east in
came
this
from
game,
the
interestingly
east.
enough.
and it flies like a million miles and it just smacks Kratos dead in the chest. And he's like, oh, beans.
Oh,
That is
jeez.
unfortunate.
And he also, I think he sends like some of his harpies
Yeah,
or
the
whatever to
harpies
just
show up and they
go
just-
pick up the box. And they're like, yeah, we can fly. So we just skipped all the
We just
puzzles. We
came
got the
here.
box now. So Kratos is dead. Mostly.
Game done.
Mm-hmm.
Kratos is falling to the river Styx.
Mm.
But there's a bunch of bones and such of giant beasts of old sticking out of the river Styx. So he's falling down. He sees this guy hanging on for dear life, and he's able to catch him by the leg. And he starts to climb up this dude. And he gets up onto this bone and looks down at the dude. And it's the ship captain from before. And he does, for no reason, kick the ship captain down into the river Styx.
Why?
Just to give him a
Doesn't
fuck
he
you a
like this
second
man?
time.
It's called comedic timing, Fran. If
Is
you
it?
if you ever committed to a bit in
Being
your
a
life,
dick?
maybe you would understand.
I'm really sorry, eternal soul of the sea captain, but I need to commit to this bit.
Oh my
This
God,
is going to be
dude.
epic. FR, no cap, and then kicks him.
So Kratos, he's gotten up, he's on these bones, and so he starts climbing his way out of Hades.
Oh.
Now, normally there'd be nowhere to go, nowhere to get out. But as classic spoiler Fran would like to point out, he sees this hole in the ceiling. And as he climbs up to it and makes his way through, he sees that he came out of the grave in Athens.
Oh,
See,
Cool.
it was for him, but it was for him to get out of hell.
interesting.
Ah.
So the Oracle
Ah.
of Athena knew that he was going to
Not so
die.
fast, Fran.
No, it's all the
No?
Gravedigger, Fran,
The
who is still there and tells him, Athena is not the only god on your side, Kratos.
Oh, I just thought the Gravedigger worked for Oracle because it was outside the Oracle's temple.
no.
Okay.
You were maybe supposed to think that, Fran, but you're wrong.
Oh, I fell into the trap.
You fell
You did.
into the god's clever big stone puzzle trap. Now
I
you
was
have
the
to
target
spend
audience for that.
now you have to spend 4 to 5 minutes solving it. And then afterwards you'll get a little hit of dopamine and you're like, "Ooh, I am smart."
And then I can just smash?
And then you can smash everything in sight, Fran, with your big fuck off swords.
Yeah.
It's a good
This
game
game
loop.
series is made for you, Fran.
I don't know about that, but all right.
Kratos is able to get back over to Ares, and he's able to get the Pandora's box to himself, and he opens it up, and he gains the power, which I guess makes you big, because gods just can be big when they want.
Yeah.
So Kratos and Ares are
Okay.
both now super huge, and they're just fighting in Athens like Godzilla boys.
Yeah,
Cool.
the game changes, Fran. You were playing a hack and slash game before, but now you're just playing like a
A kaiju?
like a Street
Yeah.
Fighter game where you're just like beating the shit out of each other, and you get like health bars, like a fighter game. It's just a fighter
Seriously?
game now. Yeah, it
Oh
rules.
man. All right.
It goofy.
All
So they
right.
fight for a while, and Ares is losing. So he does the Gurren Lagann thing, and he uses a spell to send Kratos' mind to an alternate vision of reality,
Mhm.
wherein Kratos sees himself, and then he sees like 10 of himselves, and all of those himselves are coming to kill his wife and daughter.
Okay.
So you have this big fight with yourself then where you just keep murdering and murdering and murdering clones of yourself who are trying to murder your wife and daughter until Ares, watching on from the side, says, wow, this is not going to plan. He is really good at killing versions of himself. And then Ares just comes down and slashes Kratos' wife and child.
Again. Great.
Yeah, I mean, this time it was Ares. Last time it was Kratos.
Oh, I'm sorry, but they died again. But this is like
They
a
did.
Well,
metaphysical
this is
version.
this isn't really like
Yeah.
them
This-
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Did
it's
this
the
sever his
alternate,
earthly tether in his
the
mind?
alternate vision sent to haunt Kratos.
Okay.
And it does send him a little bit over the edge. As he comes out of this horrible vision, he does just like go into complete ass beating mode and just crush Ares down.
Mhm.
And we have the fun scene at the end where Ares is like begging for his life. He's like, please, I just wanted to make you the perfect warrior. And Kratos looks him in the eye and he says, you succeeded. And kills him, Fran.
Oh.
And it's so cool. And and then he
He
puts
did
his
it.
trilby on and he says, that's right. I am the raddest of boys. In that last fight, Ares does steal the Blades of Chaos away from him, and he's having a hard time without weapons. And then he looks and he sees, for some reason, Athens did make a gigantic god-sized and fully functional metal blade that they used as a bridge just across part of the city that you like
Nice.
go across in the opening attack on Athens, and he does just pick up the bridge sword and kill him with that.
I can't wait till 2 deity figures come down to the Chicago area and pick up that big metal bean. I want to see what that's true purpose is. Just wears it as a funny hat.
I like that. So that's how we conclude our gameplay in God of War 1. Kratos comes to Athena and says, all right, I did it. I did all of the tasks, and I served you for years, and I killed a god, so please remove my constant nightmares of my tortured soul from me.
Cool.
And
Yeah. Get it,
Athena
Kratos.
says, yeah, he did good. Good,
He did the
did
thing.
great.
You
He did the
good.
things.
Yep.
He did
Good-
all the things.
Good job,
And
buddy.
Athena says, good job, buddy. I forgive you. And that's it. And she says, I don't have any way of removing your nightmares, but I, as a god, say that you are forgiven your past sins.
That wasn't the plan? Question mark? Was there a
That's-
contract? Did he sign a contract? He should have.
That was a verbal contract.
He didn't
Those are
sign
still
a
binding.
contract. It was a verbal contract,
Mm.
but
Foolish.
Athena was a little choosy with her words there. This is not what Kratos was looking for.
Mm.
So he does just go to the closest cliff and jump off to his death.
Yeah, he's like, this sucks. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. And then he does.
And then he does. But all the gods say, wait, hold up a second. We actually have an opening? And so they shoot him from falling off this cliff all the way up to Olympus and says, you are now the new god of war.
You
What?
you
How's
are
that
god
one?
of war. Cause
I'm the god of war now.
You
Do
killed,
you get it, Fran?
You killed the
Yeah.
god of war, but you
The series wasn't named after Ares, it was
It-
named after the player
it was
Kratos.
Kratos
Oh
the
my
whole time.
gosh.
Fran.
Yeah.
That might not have been a huge surprise,
Mhm.
assuming you know that the previous games that are released are also about Kratos. But, back then it was like, oh, truly,
What?
I was just a pawn in the tapestry of fate as this game brought me on an adventure that I could not see the ending to, and now it is all revealed.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it got spoiled on some random
Eh,
cable TV
Yeah,
game
well,
show
again,
or Kotaku
it was
or
radical.
something.
You killed Ares, and then you become the
That's
god of
pretty cool.
war. It's a hard
That
secret
makes
to
sense.
keep.
Succession.
It was pretty cool. So we get into God of War 2, and this stuff blows my mind
Because it's
because
good.
the gods used Kratos for years.
hmm
They fueled his rage, then they cheated him at the last second, and then when he wanted to just end it all, they refused to let him die. And now they are shocked that he's still mad about it.
They did make him a god. You would think, I don't know,
They were like, "We're evens. You're a god now. We're evensies."
if
They said.
I was gracious enough to let you be on like a podcast with me to raise you up out of the muck that is the common populace to come speak with me on high in this 3 recording studios we record from, I would assume that they would never be angry at me for anything,
I said,
regardless
"CJ,
of how
no,
many
you,
family members I
you
made them
promised
kill.
to forgive me the sin, CJ."
Yeah, I goofed. One of my classic gaffes.
So Kratos is still mad about this. He did not get over it.
Classic
I mean,
man.
yeah.
He, as the god of war, is now doing a bunch more wars because he's an angry boy.
He's also
Which-
the god of war.
Yeah, that's like his job.
Yeah, but
That's like
he's
his thing, right?
he's doing a lot of wars and a lot of internal in Greece wars. And this, you might remember, is the exact thing that they asked Kratos to kill Ares for.
Oh no, it was because they thought he was going to overthrow the Pantheon, right?
Well, yeah,
I
but
mean, it's because Ares hated them and was doing a bunch of wars and looked like he was going to maybe destroy it all
Well,
and then take down the Pantheon.
Maybe they should stop having the gods of war being people that hate everybody else that are kind of, warmongers and angry. Weird.
Maybe
But
it was
how
a bad
can
idea
you-
to make the guy who hates you a whole
Have
lot
they-
into the god of war.
Have they tried doing a Myers-Briggs test to assess the interpersonal relationship skills?
well, it's
all
the
of them?
same reason that like CEOs are always like psychopaths or whatever. They're not choosing them because they're psychopaths. They just happen to be psychopaths, and that mentality makes you a really good fit for the job. So
Classic INTJ.
yeah, so it's not that they wanted to pick Big Daddy Kramos because he's angry and good at war, but they needed a person who is good at war and big and angry.
So Athena comes to him and says, "Hey, this is a bad idea. Those other gods are getting pretty mad at you for all of the bad things that you're doing." And he says, "Don't even talk to me, lady."
You keep
And so-
literally pissing on statues of them with your huge like giant penis that you have now because you're like the size of a skyscraper.
I don't remember that part, but I honestly can't tell if you're making it up or not.
That would be
does
that would
sound
be a
like it
good
would
quick
fit.
time event.
So he's got his Spartan army invading Rhodes, right? And then he just kind of jumps down there in supersized god mode and starts angrily just knocking buildings down, which I personally feel like is sort of cheating. I don't think it's really war at that point if you big man just smush the city.
Well, Ares
Is
was
that
doing
why
that too.
Is that why the Colossus of Rhodes has disappeared?
Yeah.
Because he
Oh, there
smushed
is
it?
a Colossus of Rhodes right now. And this eagle comes down and it zaps Kratos, shrinking him. And then it goes over and it zaps the Colossus of Rhodes and
Oh.
it comes to life.
That's what
dear.
happened.
It
Francis
start
walked
killing
off.
the Spartans. And so as he's getting like shrinked down, Kratos is like, "Curse you, Athena, the god who is known for being an eagle."
Okay.
That's
Good reasonable correlation.
well, that's not
It's
not true,
not,
Fran.
but it's
That's not.
Is she not the eagle lady?
No,
She's not.
No,
That's-
she
Who's the
has
eagle lady?
she has an owl.
She has an
Oh,
owl. Zeus.
Athena's an owl
It's an
lady.
owl.
It was Zeus.
It was Zeus. Zeus is
Oh.
known for showing up like an eagle and also sometimes fucking people as an eagle, which is a very strange thing to fuck. But people see that big eagle and they're like, I'll give it a shot.
Or maybe they aren't like that. Zeus doesn't care. And that Zeus is saying, "Hey, listen, I was supporting Kratos at first. I was the gravedigger in the last game. I was trying to help him out,
Ah.
but the boy is getting too dangerous and he needs to die." So,
Okay.
Yeah,
This worked out great
he-
last time, but all right.
yeah, so Kratos, he goes through Rhodes and he does kill the Colossus of Rhodes because he's a very cool boy. But then Zeus smacks him down and says, "You need to swear that you'll do whatever I say from now on or I'm going to have to kill you." And Kratos says, "No." And so
Oh.
Zeus kills him.
Oh, same spot, right through the stomach.
Same spot. Exact same
If
spot.
you notice,
Where's
if you notice,
where's Hades in all this?
the new God of War, he's got a scar on his eye that he got when he was a kid, and he's got a big scar on his tummy where he was killed several
Stabbed twice.
times.
Multiple times.
Where what's Hades doing? Is he just like chilling in the underworld, or is he like
So
Eh.
last time we didn't have to worry as much about Hades, but this time Kratos goes to hell again, and Hades isn't supposed to let him out this time.
Yeah.
oh,
But he's got an ally on his side there,
oh.
and we see that he teams up with Gaia, the Titaness, who has offered to help him out. And we find,
Wait,
Gaia-
Gaia's from Greek mythology?
yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
She's
Okay.
she is like the
Earth, right?
the gods are all like have like pretty solid conceptual things that they rule, like war, and
Yeah.
fire, and
Yeah.
the sun and lightning. The Titans preceded them and kind of had a lot more like primordial essence. So
Mhm.
Gaia kind of is the earth, but is also
Yeah.
like a physical representation of the earth. And
I
s-
guess
I say
when I
that
heard
only
Gaia,
Fran.
I thought it was Norse, not Greek. So
No.
I guess
Nope.
that's just my bad.
Nope.
of
So
knowledge.
if you need to know, so the sky came into being from chaos, and then the sky birthed the earth, Gaia, and then
Okay.
the sky fucked the earth and made the next set of Titans.
Okay.
Fran, Gaia in
What?
this Gaia in this game is big thickness. She is
Okay.
she is a mighty tract of land, if you get what I'm saying. She's a big dirt mommy.
Mm-hmm.
She is also the narrator who's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she has up until this point spent the whole time saying, "And super cool Kratos went and did this thing, and
Okay.
it was radical as hell."
Yeah.
All right. So she's a cheerleader. Got it.
So she helped Kratos escape from hell for the second time because she would like to strike a deal with Kratos. She can't help noticing he hates the gods. She also hates the gods,
Hmm.
as they have kind of taken all of the Titans and put them to be tortured forever in Tartarus.
Yeah. There was a big war between the gods and the Titans, and the
I
Titans
didn't know that.
the Titans were the gods' parents, basically.
Yeah, and then Zeus said,
Yeah.
"Fuck you.
Yeah.
I won't
Yeah,
do
we'll
what
get
you tell
into
me."
it in a sec.
Yeah.
We'll get
Oh,
into
okay.
it in a sec. But yeah, to bring about this change, Gaia sends Kratos to the secret palace of the Sisters of Fate.
Are
to
these the ladies
literally-
from Hercules that like
Yeah.
try to cut
Past,
the thread?
present, and future.
Like that, except
Yeah.
they don't work for Hades. They control
They
all
didn't
of
work
reality.
for Hades in the other one, Ethan. They merely consulted him about a prophecy that rhymed. And then they go
I
in,
believe-
and
I
then
believe
and
it.
then and then
You're
they,
absolutely
and
right,
then they go
CJ.
indoor plumbing. It's gonna be big.
I spent so much time researching these God of War games, but I didn't get into the important stuff. Disney's Hercules.
That's fine because I have it memorized.
Okay, thank you, bro.
That's what I'm here for.
So, so Gaia sends Kratos to the Sisters of Fate with the objective of literally changing time so that Zeus didn't zap away Kratos' god powers so that he can use those to kill all of the gods.
That's right, Fran. We have paradoxal time travel in this one, so mark that one down on your bingo cards.
Okay. We really
Ye-
should just make bingo cards one of these times.
Well, you don't have to.
Probably
It's the same
should.
fucking 4 things every single time. It's just bingo
Friendship
every
is
time.
magic.
God,
I haven't heard friendship is magic yet.
No, Kratos
I mean, I
hasn't
don't think
found
we're going to
any.
get into
No.
capitalism this whole time.
Or
so
capitalism.
That's impressive.
So
But we got the time travel down.
We got time
Mhm.
travel for this. one.
So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We go and we do that, right? Like, you get to the Sisters of Fate magical palace, and there's a bunch of other, like, tragic Greek heroes there who are all coming to beg the Sisters of Fate to change their fate. And Kratos is like, "Oh, I'm just gonna kill them." And
Yeah, they're
What?
in his way, kinda. There's
I mean, they don't want to do the thing that he wants them to do, so he
But
does
okay.
murder them.
yeah.
Oh. So if he murders the sisters, how is he supposed to change the past then?
Because they use the tapestry of fate to control reality, right?
Oh.
And so he just kind of messes with that a little bit, shoots back in time to the exact moment that Zeus killed him, and he's like, "What?"
It is really funny
And
because you don't like take your position in getting killed again and like prevent that. You just walk in on Kratos being killed, and then as Zeus is killing you, he like taps him on the shoulder. He's like, "Oh, hey, you missed a spot," and then he's just there again, but now with more weapons and shit.
It's
All right.
very fun. It's very funny. Zeus like looks at him and just kind of sneers, and he's like, so you went and you begged to the Sisters of Fate." And he says, "No, I killed all of fate." And Zeus is like, "Oh, that's
shit.
very bad."
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
That's a very different response.
You have this epic battle between Kratos and Zeus.
Is it like
And
the kaiju one?
It's
Or is
not
it
like
different?
the kaiju one, your regular size this time. It is
Boo.
Zeus does a lot more like fancy jumping around and shooting lightning bolts and
Mm.
such.
Mhm.
If the last one was a fighting game like Street Fighter, this one is more like Mortal Kombat, and he's doing a bunch of Raiden teleports.
Okay.
So you're just about to make the killing blow on Zeus when suddenly Athena's like, "No," and jumps in and takes the blow, and Zeus is able to escape. And Kratos is like, "I'm very annoyed that you did that."
Why, Athena? That will set me back one whole game.
You should be noticing by now that we have a little bit of repetition in this series.
God of War
right?
gets angry, wants to murder
Yes.
stuff. Other gods are
Mhm.
like, whoa, hold
Other
up.
gods.
You're
but-
murdering a lot of stuff.
The god
This is
of
wild.
the god
Please
of murder
stop.
keep doing murder. Why do we even
We
have
keep
this
doing
guy?
more. Weird.
I know that you're not reading my notes, but it does feel like you are.
And
It's-
then they go, "This you shouldn't do that." And the God of War is like, "Well, fuck you. I'll do what I want." And then they're like, "Stop that." Bat you down.
Eh.
And then you come back and they're like, "Fuck you." And then just kind of keeps going until someone dies. And
That's
then
my notes exactly.
cool.
Kratos-
So is Kratos
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
become Zeus now? Or like is that
So
who he's gonna go
Kratos-
kill next? Like, come on.
Kratos proves himself to be dangerous. The
I
gods
thought he
fear
did that
him.
already.
Yeah, this is the repetition. This
Oh,
just keeps
okay. It just
happening.
they're more scared. They're scared
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
They're
The
re-scared.
gods fear him and betray him and kill him. He comes back to life and does the impossible and then emerges victorious. And so this motif is here for a kind of good reason. This is roughly the Greek origin story of Zeus himself. So
Really?
Yes. So as we
Okay.
were talking about, to give you like a real quick breakdown of how the gods came to be,
Isn't
right?
Kronos his daddy?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have there was Uranus. Uranus bore Gaia and then plowed Gaia and made a bunch of Titan babies, the youngest of which was Kronos, and he was like very cruel and controlling to all of his children. So Kronos overthrew him. Then Kronos was having a bunch of kids, but Gaia warned him that like those kids were going to overthrow him. So
Mhm.
Kronos ate all of his children as they were being born. His wife didn't like that very much. So for her last child, Zeus,
Who was his
she
wife?
Rhea, which would
Okay.
also have been his sister, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Greek mythology's full of it. Okay, keep going.
Yes, yes. So she gives him this rock in that is swaddled like a baby in place of
Mm.
Zeus, and he,
Mhm.
not noticing, just shoves it down.
Mhm.
And so we have he seems to have been killed, but then does the miraculous. He
Yeah.
is back alive, right?
Okay.
Zeus grows up, becomes a mighty warrior, and disembowels Kronos, getting all of his siblings out. And now Zeus is on top, right? And Zeus is deathly afraid that one of his children are going to do the exact same thing to him.
Well, good things Kratos isn't his kid,
Yeah.
right? No. Is Kratos his kid?
Kratos is his kid.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh my
He's-
god.
So
Dude, you got
Zeus-
pranked, Fran.
Ah.
so Zeus was very afraid of like Ares starting this like uprising thing, because Ares is one of Zeus's sons.
Yes.
So he used Kratos to kill Ares, not realizing, oh shit, this is how Greek tragic fate works. I have actually set up my other son, the one who is really going to kill me and end my whole thing, with the power to do so.
So, who was Kratos' mom then?
A mortal lady that Zeus boned.
Probably,
just
Okay,
like so
random.
many other.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
She was probably
So he is
hot if
Hercules.
Zeus wanted to bone her.
Okay.
It might have even been consensual.
Probably not, though.
Mm.
Who knows?
Probably not.
So yeah, it's like this is all just how like Greek fate works, right?
Mm-hmm.
And fate is like this weird thing in Greek myth because it is inescapable, but it's also a self-fulfilling sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
These people have bad things happen to them because they're all assholes, but also they're all assholes because they live in constant fear of the bad things happening to them.
Because they were assholes.
Because they were afraid that bad things were going to happen to him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And so that's how it works. And we're not
Easy
going
there,
to get
Oedipus
Sounds
Rex.
a little like intergenerational trauma.
that is sort of the emotional core of the latest God of War games, right? Because Kratos now has son, and
Mm.
according to this whole awful events that keep going cyclically, his son what should murder him, right? But Kratos is also trying to be a good dad instead of a Zeus or Kronos or Uranus.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Plus,
Good on him for trying to break the cycle.
well, plus he's a god and he knows what gods do, which is to trick and lie and kill to get what they want, which he also does, and know that he knows that he does that. So he doesn't want his kid
That's the
to grow
first
up to
step.
be a shitty god, but also
Self-awareness.
he's the god of war, and he knows what war does. It made him kill his old family, and it made, all the other gods fight each other and kill each other, and it's just a bad thing. So he doesn't really want to do war either. So he doesn't want to be a god, and he doesn't want to do a war, but that's his whole identity, and it's on the box. So what is he going to do about it? I spend at least probably a whole trilogy of games unpacking that with his sweet boy.
But we're not going to get into that one. We're going to keep on the original trilogy. We're going to talk about God of War 3 now.
Oh, so the
So-
second game just straight up ends with Zeus just getting away.
Zeus getting away.
Oh, there's a
and
huge cliffhanger.
The Titans are Titans are freed, and instead of
Oh.
going Ares, he goes Zeus.
This makes sense with the time that this came out, because this is definitely when Hollywood started doing the whole, like, we do one movie that is like solid one movie, and then it gets greenlit for the sequel, and then you're like, oh shit, I gotta set up the sequel for the second sequel.
Yeah.
So is this what happened?
There's
They had
literally
one game, and they're like, let's do more. It's like,
the-
okay, cliffhanger.
the end of the
So-
game.
Then the thing.
The end of the second game is that Kratos uses his history-breaking powers to free the Titans and create a Titan army, and they're all just climbing up Mount Olympus, and Kratos is riding one of them, and he goes Zeus, and then it just cuts to credits, and it's like done.
Okay.
Basically think of that scene in the Disney Hercules movie,
Yeah.
except Hercules is working with the Titans, like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill you! Start of God of War 3, Kratos is working together with the Titans to take down Olympus.
Did we pick up right where we left off? with him
Literally
going,
not a second has passed.
Zeus!
Yes.
And then, okay,
Yes, exactly that.
cool.
And so we're going up, the Titans are battling the gods on the side, and Kratos, he comes face to face with Poseidon. He's our first guy we're going to do a murder on.
He just kills him.
and-
It's so unceremonious how they kill the god of all oceans.
It's pretty brutal how he kills him, but as Poseidon is sitting there like cowering, like, please don't kill me, he does say, like, I am the embodiment and controller of all the seas. If you kill me, the entirety of the world will flood over and all of the other people will die. And Kratos says, I don't know if you got this yet, but I don't give a fuck, and I'm cool violent boy. And he chops off Poseidon's head. And so the whole world is flooded now, but we're on Mount Olympus.
Yeah,
so
we
that
don't have
doesn't matter
time.
just
We
yet.
don't have time to deal with that. So
Things are going very well for the Titan side until they aren't. Zeus starts like battering down on Kratos and Gaia with lightning bolts, and as Kratos is falling, he's like, Gaia, help me! And Gaia says, like, we no longer need you. You fulfilled your role. And she flicks him down to his death in the river Styx.
So now is he gonna shout Gaia instead?
I mean,
Zeus.
I'm sure he's going to be pretty pissed off about that and deal with it in a healthy way.
So, you know this song and dance, Fran.
Mhm.
We wake up down in hell, but
What is
we're not
Hades up
going-
to again? Just like,
So,
hey man.
This time, we're like, we've done this a few too many times. You do kill Hades on your way out.
Oh.
And as he's like, I'm immortal, you idiot. You do steal Hades' weapon and slurp up Hades' own soul with it.
Yeah.
So
Thus-
I feel like Hades did nothing wrong. I feel like this is unnecessary.
I mean,
step.
he's kind of a dick also. If it makes you feel better, he has a non-consensual wife. So,
Depending on the version.
Ooh, CJ, I don't know if we should talk. We did kill her.
yeah,
in
we
a
did
side
also
game.
kill her in a side
Oh.
game. Persephone.
What's her name again? Yeah, Persephone.
Yes.
Yeah, well, she's like, I hate my husband so much, I'm going to get Kratos to do my dirty work for me. And
Oh.
then she tricks him, and then he figures out that she tricked him, and then he's like, I'm going to do a murder on you now. And she's like, yeah, I know. And then he just kills her.
Okay. Well,
Okay, so we're making our way out of Hades, and we run into Super Ghost Athena.
hmm She literally
And-
says that when you killed me, I ascended to a higher form with no explanation beyond
oh,
that.
she actually
No,
died.
she-
Okay.
It's just like a Star Wars moment where she's like, you struck me down, so I have become more powerful than you could have possibly
She's literally
imagined."
just like,
Okay.
I am more powerful because you killed me, but I can't interact with the world anymore, so I'm a ghost who haunts you now.
Mm-hmm. And so she says, hey, so you're gonna have a hard time actually killing Super God Boy Zeus, but I hid a little something special in that Pandora's box, so you need to go back and get it again.
Circle.
Is it
and-
Hope?
Yeah, Fran, it's
Okay.
Hope. Thank you.
All right.
Fran.
How is Hope gonna help him?
It's gonna turn him giant again!
Oh,
It's
okay.
it doesn't do that, but it's very stupid. But we'll get there. Okay.
Is it friendship?
No,
No,
Is it friendship?
Kramos doesn't make any friends, unfortunately.
Oh,
So
can't mark
Kratos
that spot on my bingo
escapes.
board.
No, yeah, Kratos does not make friends. He fucks Aphrodite in this one.
Oh. Wait, not
Uh,
sexually?
no, I mean he's sexually.
Oh,
That's
hell
our
yeah.
sex mini game for
Hell
this
yeah.
one. Is Aphrodite.
Nice.
And
Like in the middle of the battle? Or like
That's when
I mean,
that,
sort of, yeah. Like while the
I'm
rest
trying
of
to-
the battle is going on
yeah,
outside,
he
he
just like
just
sneaks
gets
into
to
their house.
Aphrodite's part of Olympus, and she's like, "Man, I really want you to just like do the horizontal tango with me." And he's like, "Okay."
okay, I've got 3 minutes.
And then you immediately after that meet up with Hephaestus, and he's like, "Now you didn't
You
happen
didn't
to
fuck
plow
my wife, did you? Because I can usually tell when people have.
And Kratos is just like, "Listen, you need to talk with your wife. That
doesn't
not
involve
a
me.
conversation for us.
Listen,
That's not us. That's you."
It's you two to figure that out.
Sounds like a private matter.
It was a
So-
private matter. Privates matter. If you know what I mean.
Privates. Thank you,
Because
CJ.
they smashed their genitalia together.
Yes, they did. They did the perfect button sequence. So Kratos escapes, and he kills so many gods on his way up.
The rest
and-
of them, mostly.
Mostly the rest of them. And as I was telling you before with Poseidon, the gods apparently are also, because they are embodiments of the world, they are holding the world together. So
Mm.
Kratos is like destroying the world as he's killing these gods. Like you rip Helios's head off and the sun just goes dark.
Oh.
Things are not going great for the world, but
It's not
he
good.
does not give a fuck.
He's on a rampage.
Like I can't go through all of the killing that happens, but if I don't give you something, then you'll have a hard time understanding just how big of a game God of War 3 is. So I'm just gonna go through the mostly complete list I have of all ancient Greek creatures, people of note, and gods and titans that Kratos has killed throughout his series.
Throughout the series or just in the third
Throughout
game?
the series. We're just
Okay.
going to do the whole series so that you
Alright.
can really get a sense of scope here.
Okay.
Are you ready, Fran?
So ready.
In the God of War original series, Kratos killed the Basilisk, the Hydra, Medusa, an army of Minotaurs and Harpies and the like, a bunch of Griffins and Hippocampi, many Cerberi, the Cyclopes, Centaurs, Gorgons, Nymphs, Sirens. He killed Gyges.
What
He
is a
killed the
Gyges?
Scylla. I can't do
Okay,
everyone.
I'm sorry.
Fran.
I don't know some of these.
You're not going to know plenty of these, but you just need to get the scope of it.
Okay.
The Scylla, the Colossus of Rhodes, Uriel, Perses, Kronos, Gaia, Lysandra, Calliope, Pollux and Castor, Megara, Tisiphone, Alecto, Althea, Horkos, some Persian king, Sharon, Persephone, Ares, Callisto, King Midas, Aranis, Thanatos, Syrinx, Prometheus, Theseus, Perseus, Icarus, Athena, Poseidon, Prithous, Hades, Helios, Hermes, Hercules, Hera, Hephaestus, Daedalus, Pandora, King Minos, King Asius, King Radamantus, and Zeus himself.
So he didn't kill. He ended up killing Aphrodite's husband.
He did end up killing Aphrodite's husband. So we have this huge kill list that I gave you, right?
Uh-huh.
At the very end, we do successfully murder Zeus, okay?
Okay. Great.
And at this point, Ghost Athena comes out and says, now I will actually be ruler over all with my super ghost powers. This was a plan of mine or something. She says, all right, I'm gonna take over now. But it turns out that she had planned to use the hope that she had hidden inside Pandora's box, but Kratos had actually let it out all those years ago when he first killed Ares. And I guess he unleashes hope into the world after absolutely destroying it. So the series ends on like a weird and absolutely nonsensical upbeat tone where they're like, yeah, and now that the gods are no more and also 99% of the human population is destroyed, the humans can be
Yeah,
free
Fran,
and
you need to
Is this not like a Christianity thing with
No,
the ark?
Fran, you need to imagine that Kratos is standing on like a burning Mount Olympus looking out over the landscape, and it's just hellish fire and like
Mhm.
explosion craters as far as the eye can see. And then there's just like, but there's hope. And it's like, okay, I just killed literally everyone and everything.
It's very silly.
So, okay. Hold on.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
with Pandora's Box, first game, got Pandora's Box, got powers, turned into a kaiju, battled Ares kaiju,
Yeah.
much like the Wonder Woman movie, I guess. with
Maybe no one saw it,
Lupin or
unfortunately.
whatever. The first one, not the second one. But then when he opened the box, Hope was also released already. And
So when he
somehow
opened-
Athena says that Hope is going to help after
When-
everything is destroyed.
When he opened the box the first time, Athena thought that he summoned the evil powers in there to defeat Ares, but he actually summoned Hope. And so
Hope
he
do,
was
Not both?
using,
Hope do make you big monster man.
he was using the power of Hope to murder almost the entire Greek existence the entire time.
Wow.
And so when he opened it again, she thought she would have her hope juice in there, but she was like, "What?
The
It's
Hope
already
juice
gone?
is
Impossible."
was in Kratos the whole time.
So Hope is what powered him
Uh-huh.
to
Mhm.
destroy the Greek Parthenon.
Should be the most
That and
hateful creature
unfettered
that has ever
rage.
lived.
Okay.
Fran, you should be
It's-
afraid and in awe of the power that can come when Hope is combined with
With
daddy
rage.
issues.
It's such a weird off note to end the series on.
It was
like-
so that they could tie in a sequel eventually, which they did
It's
a
like
decade
6
later.
yeah, a full decade later. Yeah, okay, sure. Now, I like how they originally planned to make God of War 3. Have you heard about this, CJ?
No.
So the like creator for the series, he said his original plan for God of War 3 was going to be that you start fighting the gods on Olympus,
Mm-hmm.
and then immediately all of the Norse and Egyptian pantheon show up, and they say, I noticed that the Olympians are at their weakest. Now we will kill them
Yeah.
and become. And so
So-
Kratos kills all
Literally
gods,
all gods
everywhere.
So
And
this is where I'm confused about how this works because there are other
okay,
gods.
wait, Fred. I need to get to the most important
I'm sorry.
part. It's absolutely vital that I let CJ know that he had a planned battle where you chop off Medusa's head and use it to turn a giant sphinx to stone, and that's why there's a stone sphinx.
I do
in
enjoy that. I do enjoy that.
What were the pyramids previously?
It's so good.
Oh my god. Well, there's probably gonna be a lot more games in this series, so there's always time.
There's always hope.
There's
So-
always
I'm
hope.
sorry, friend. You were having an existential crisis.
I don't understand why killing the Greek gods in particular destroyed everything, or did it just destroy everything they could see within the Greek
Yeah,
area?
So
Is
based
that
on
the idea?
based on what the new
Because
game
there's
is
like Norse.
yeah, based on what the new game is
Egyptian.
setting up, they have this like
There's Yu-Gi-Oh.
they have this
Like-
really like kind of detached worlds theory going on where like all the lands are kind of controlled by gods, and like the
Uh-huh.
gods know about each other in different lands, right? So like when you in the new God of War, when you are talking with some of the other gods, they're like, oh, you're that Spartan over in the Greek way that did all those god murders. That's pretty cool. Like they know who he is. And so
Uh-huh.
he lives in Midgard, which is one of the Norse realms, which is just Earth. So
Uh-huh.
in like actual Norse mythology, Midgard is like all of the planet Earth, but it's kind of implied that
Yeah.
Midgard is just like the realm that you live in that represents Earth but is ruled by the Norse pantheon. So presumably when
Yes.
you're going and doing murders over in Greece lands, like the Greek gods held dominance over the Greek lands, but like
Okay.
that's not the whole world, presumably.
So by Poseidon saying that he is the god of all the waters, it's just kind of the ones in like their centrally
Probably like the
localized
Mediterranean. Yeah, he's
situation.
probably the god of
or
the
like the
Mediterranean.
area around the boot of Italy.
Right. That's
Like-
also the Mediterranean, yeah.
Yeah, but like that specific area of the Mediterranean, because the
No,
Egyptian
not the
gods also have
Pacific
parts of the
area,
Mediterranean.
just the Mediterranean area.
I mean,
Did you like that
I
joke,
think,
Fran? That was an oceans joke.
I think
The
that
Mediterranean's a sea.
you're maybe looking a little bit too in. We'll just say this, Fran. There is Midgard, there's Asgard, and I guess there was also Greek Guard.
Yeah.
And Greek Guard is gone now. It is destroyed.
I have a hot prediction. I think that this, because I do think the current God of War is probably a trilogy, and they're gonna wrap it up, and then I think they're probably going to go to like Egypt lands where it's all deserty, and go do like an Egypt lands adventure, because
At what point
That-
does this
I
turn into
mean-
Percy Jackson?
it kind of already has. Like
yeah, it kind of already.
it was
is.
like
Because-
it wasn't like the second one basically.
Because Percy Jackson's the Greek gods, and now there's like he teams up with the Norse god kid, and then there's also his friends that go and hang out with the Egyptian gods.
Well, Fran, I don't know anything about Percy
and now there's
Jackson,
like Indian gods.
but I do know about God of War, and it sounds like it's just following that formula. So it sounds like you know what's gonna happen better than I do. It's probably just gonna be whatever that is.
It's probably.
We're
gonna be
on
a lot
we're
like
on
that,
to you,
but-
Santa Monica. We know what you're doing over there.
All right, but okay, so that is like the primary trilogy of the original God of War series. But CJ has been chomping at the bit
All right.
to talk about
For bonus
the in
information.
between
All that
games.
matters is one thing, because why did Ares do all this to start with?
I guess some oracle told the gods that there was going to be a mortal that would kill all of them, that would have symbols all over him.
Yeah, he
Oh.
basically
And-
they called him
and-
the marked one.
Oh,
They called him the Marked One.
okay.
And somehow the gods were able to whittle it down to this one Spartan family who had these two sons, Kratos and Deimos.
Okay, and they
by
don't-
Spartan family, I mean Spartan mom who got fucked by Zeus.
Yeah, they don't tell you
Uh,
who's who, but you get this flashback of these two Spartan kids, and one of them has all the red markings that Kratos has, and then he's got his older brother who's just beating the shit out of him all the time. And he was like, "I'm making you strong, little brother." And then Ares shows up, and he was like, "I am here to take the marked one because the prophecy said he's going to lead to my downfall, and I don't like that. So I'm going to take him and, I don't know, trap him forever or whatever." And so he
Okay.
does. And then the older brother's like, "Hey, don't do that. That's my brother." And then Ares is like, "Fuck you." And then he punches him in the face. And
okay.
and then it's like, oh man, all this stuff happened to Ares when he was a kid, or all this stuff happened to Kratos when
Kratos.
he was a kid. That's crazy.
But Kratos
then
is the older brother.
but then Kratos was the older dick brother who was beating up his
Yeah.
little brother, and then he just
Mhm.
got tattoos that exactly matched his little brother's birthmarks, because he was like, "I will never forget this, Ares, except later when I'll forget this and ask you for a bunch of help, I guess." And that also did the whole thing where it made the prophecy come true, because he was the marked one, because he wouldn't have had those marks if his brother didn't get stolen by Ares in the gosh darn first place.
So did they just kill his little brother then?
No, they've been holding him hostage for all these years. He's been growing up in secret, and Kratos has to team up with him in order to kill a god.
He's
Which
been
one?
growing Thanatos. He's
Okay.
been growing up in secret in Atlantis.
And he hates
where
his
they-
he hates his brother now. Yeah, he lives in Atlantis. He hates his brother because he thought he left him to die, and he was like, "I thought you were dead," and he was like, "You didn't even look for me when the gods stole me." And so they
I got tats like
to be
you.
fair,
That's-
the
that has
gods
to count for
stole
something,
you.
bro.
And then he got angry at him, and then they're like, "Well, we have to team up those still." They beat the shit out of each other for a while, and then he was like, well,
That's how men have arguments.
we have to
Beat the
team
shit out
up.
of each other for a little
We
bit.
have to team up to first kill one of the daughters of Thanatos and then to kill Thanatos, who is the embodiment of death. Like he's the Grim Reaper.
Okay.
And then they
That's
do
fine.
that, and then his brother dies.
And they do that, and then his brother is just like, there's no hope for anything, all is lost.
But
and
he
the brother,
already released Hope.
Which I wouldn't even bring up,
his-
except they talk about it in the new game. Because they're like, Kratos, you couldn't possibly understand what I'm going through. I had my brother taken away from me because of cruel tricks by the gods. And he was like, I too had my brother taken away from me by cruel fates. And they're like, yeah, Kratos, but you don't know what it's like to have your children killed because of the gods meddling. And he was like, I was forced to kill my family in a blind rage because of an evil god who made me do so. And then it's like, well, Kratos, you don't even know what it's like to.
You gonna try me, bro? You gonna try me?
And they're just like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. He's like, like it's like every time they're like, you don't know what you're talking about, Kratos. You shouldn't be weighing in on the subject. He was like, a way worse thing happened to me, and it's like. I want to kill, I want revenge. And he's like, revenge won't help you. And then they're like, how do you know, Kratos? He's like, because I killed everyone because I got so angry and it didn't hurt, it didn't help.
I have killed every Greek figure you've ever heard of, and like 20 you haven't.
Uh-huh.
Also, in the new God of War, there's a voice line where Mimir, who's the disembodied head, is like, Kratos, brother, I heard that you once fought in a mighty tournament with a two-dimensional rapper and a kitten princess and a Bioshock man. Is this true, brother? And he goes, we do not talk about this.
Sony All-Stars. We don't talk about the
We
Sony
don't talk
All-Stars
about those
game.
Sony All-Stars.
Oh, is that real?
The
Yes.
misguided attempt by the people who worked at Sony to bring together all their strongest mascots in a fighting game, a la
The
Super Smash Brothers.
game.
But it turns out we don't actually have that many mascots, so we'll have Parappa the Rappa fight Nathan Drake from Uncharted. It will be epic. Sly Bandicoot or whatever his name is will be there.
Slap it.
Is there any possible lingering musings you have, Fran, on the might and
so
power
many.
of the God of War series?
So if he destroyed Greek Guard by killing all the gods, is he even a god anymore because he doesn't have the realm that he was the god of?
I guess so, because he is in the new games.
Yeah. Well, he is in the new games.
Also, what? Okay, pause. Also, this might be a Greek
We
mythology question.
don't really pause the episodes, but yeah, all right, go on.
Okay, listener, pause, I guess.
Yeah,
Whatever.
listener, pause, and then we'll tell you when to unpause.
Why? What happens if the god of war dies anyway? Why did they need a god of war? Why didn't they just say, well, Ares is dead, let's just like leave that vacant?
Well, because Santa Monica Studios wanted to make a bunch of money, Fran. That's why. Silly
But
Fran.
like, what are the consequences of not having a god of war?
Silly Fran. It's
Is there just no war?
It's all about making.
I feel like that's a win.
It's all about making money and gathering followers. Followers like you. Thank you guys again for listening. We've once again made it to the end of our episode on God of War. Hopefully this background lore will give you all of the insights you need to understand the true emotional complexities of Kratos and Boy's story in the upcoming video games. Please don't spoil it for me. I have not yet finished it, but I'm working diligently to fix that. We want to thank Galestorm Kitsune, who did all the artwork for our channel. Maybe you heard of her at Twitter. Also on every social, in case Twitter doesn't exist anymore. She's Galestorm Kitsune. We want to thank Apajo for the intro and outro to our songs. Our songs? Intro and outro to our show with his songs. They're very good. You should listen to more of his stuff. It's on Spotify, which probably still will exist, even if Twitter goes down.
for now.
For now, although I'll give a call to Daddy Elon, and he'll use his godlike powers of destruction to destroy those platforms as well. Speaking of platforms, we're on other ones that aren't Twitter, like YouTube. Maybe you heard of that one. Cooking with Spices is our channel. We have these shows on there, and we also have some other cool stuff like Let's Plays. Go check it out. You can find it at youtube.com/@spiceswith. Make sure to check out the stream, twitch.tv/cookingwithspices, where we'll play video games. We streamed the first bit of God of War for a little bit. Not going to stream the rest of it, though, because you don't want to get those spoilers in there. But, come check it out. If you've got a game that you want to see played and aren't crazy enough or bored enough to actually go out and buy it with human dollars and play it yourself, then, hey, let us know, and we'll probably play it. The list goes on and on. Is there any final things you guys want to say to all the beautiful, sexy people out there who like, watch, subscribe, follow, share to their friends?
After you do the sex games the first time, you get a bunch of like in-game currency for it, but you can keep doing them again if you just kind of have a problem.
Yeah, and I do, because this time I've been CJ.
And I've been Ethan.
And I've been Fran.
And I smash that like button like you are doing a sex mini game.
Circle, 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 triangle. Ah!